Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to guide you through this today. We're looking at a deeply thought-provoking piece called The Perils and Triumphs of the Exceptional Soul. Basically, we're going to unpack the engine of our own daily choices, strip away all the noise, and look right at our personal struggles. Because listen, struggle, it's guaranteed. But the type of struggle you face, well, that is entirely up to you.
But before we get into the heavy philosophical lifting, let me ask you a question. Why do we endlessly binge watch? You know the feeling. You finish a long day, you flop onto the couch, and suddenly, poof, it's midnight, and you've watched an entire season of a show you kinda don't even care about. We usually just write this off as being tired or lazy, right? But our source material suggests there's something way deeper happening under the surface of these mundane, time-filling habits.
Okay, let's dive into this. We all have our go-to distractions: browsing, binge-watching, snacking, gossiping. The author argues that these aren't just harmless ways to pass the time. No way. They're actually symptoms. It's like a giant puzzle, and these behaviors are compensation mechanisms trying to fill a void created by a deeper issue in how you're navigating your life. To figure out what that issue is, we really need to look at the two primary paths laid out in our text.
Which brings us to Section 1, Two Paths, Two Conflicts.
This is the structural foundation of everything we're talking about today. The core idea is that every single life path requires choosing between two totally unavoidable struggles. You don't get to opt out of conflict entirely, but you do get to pick your poison. If you choose the path of fitting in, living up to what others expect, you are guaranteed to generate internal conflict. On the flip side, if you choose being exceptional and living up to your own potential, you will absolutely generate external conflict. You're either battling yourself or you're battling the world. There's no magical middle ground where everyone claps for you and you also feel perfectly fulfilled inside. So let's break down how that internal conflict actually works.
Moving on to Section 2, the trap of fitting in.
Fitting in often feels exactly like a breathless, never-ending treadmill of busy work. It's the path of least resistance, for sure, but it triggers this massive downward spiral with a huge psychological cost. Step 1, you fit in by cutting corners in your own life to meet other people's expectations. Step 2, because you aren't living true to your own values, you compromise your ultimate truth. Step 3, that compromise makes you lose your agency. You literally stop feeling like the author of your own story. And finally, Step 4, this lack of control leaves you in a constant state of low-grade anxiety. Your subconscious absolutely knows you aren't moving toward your dreams.
And because you feel that lack of agency, you have to compensate. How? By giving the impression of being busy doing stuff that is neither important nor urgent. You drive tasks that matter to other people. You spend your time browsing, snacking, gossiping. Actually, scratch that. It's more like you are creating a massive smokescreen of activity just to hide the fact that you aren't actually moving forward. You are exhausted, but you are not exceptional.
So, what's the alternative? Let's slow down and look at Section 3, the exceptional soul's routine. If fitting in is a frantic treadmill, being exceptional is a deliberate, heavy, and purposeful climb. Our text gives us a crystal clear definition here. The exceptional soul is characterized by doing what most people are not willing to do. It means you actually want the things in life that most people actively avoid. You lean into the hard stuff. You use your uniqueness instead of trying to file off your rough edges just to fit into society's mold.
So what does this look like in the real world? Well, when everyone else is just doing the bare minimum to get through the day, you raise your standards. You keep showing up. When you fall down, and you will, you pick yourself up. You rely on a solid routine, and crucially, you do not quit in the middle. The exceptional path isn't magic. It's a relentless, sometimes grueling, commitment to action.
And this brilliantly illustrates the mindset shift required. The quote reads, "You see the finish line when majority of people focus on giving excuses and look out for reasons to give up on their decisions. While the crowd is desperately searching for an alibi, a reason why it's okay to stop, the exceptional soul is tunnel-visioned. You keep your eyes locked on the finish line, completely unbothered by the chorus of excuses happening around you. But like we established earlier, this path brings its own unique conflict."
Which brings us to our fourth and final section, the price of exception.
This is where the reality check hits. Choosing to be exceptional might cure your internal conflict, but man, it unleashes a storm of external resistance. It's just basic cause and effect. The cause? You're going down a different path, thinking differently, behaving differently. The effect? You get different results. But there's a pretty heavy catch. When you go against the grain, especially around your close family and peers, you will be deeply misunderstood. The people you care about might look at your dedication and routine and think it's totally alien.
And honestly, being misunderstood is just the baseline. The text explicitly outlines some harsh external realities you'll face. You'll be ignored, ridiculed, rejected, and in some cases, outright attacked. When you separate yourself from the pack by doing what they won't do, the pack pushes back. It can feel incredibly personal and really isolating.
So, the crucial point is, they aren't actually attacking you, they're attacking what you represent. By simply existing and thriving on your own terms, you are holding up a mirror to the people around you. You're forcing them to question their own self-deprecating beliefs and self-fulfilling prophecies. Your high standards threaten the excuses they've built their lives around. This external conflict isn't proof you're doing something wrong. It's usually the best evidence that you're doing something exactly right.
We've looked at the architecture of both paths. Fit in, and you'll face the internal conflict of low-grade anxiety, lost agency, and just pretending to be busy. Choose to be exceptional, and you'll face the external conflict of being misunderstood and ridiculed. Struggle is the only absolute guarantee here. You cannot avoid it. So, I'm going to leave you with this final lingering thought for today's explainer. Knowing the price of both, which conflict will you choose?